surgery to fix that. They were going to take the nerve from my leg, put it in my arm, a big 11 hours of surgery. But I'd already had some medical malpractice. How do you think I felt about going back into a hospital?
Nervous.
Very nervous. I did this to myself. Yeah. Just plexiglass, so that there was no feeling attached anymore. Okay. Neuro-linguistic programming. How we're programmed in our brain, our neuros, through language. And language meaning body language, words, semantics, rhetoric, and everything around us. NLP started in the 70s with two guys, Richard Bandler and John Grinder, and John and Richard were looking at the excellence. They wanted to study excellence, which everybody thinks of as okay now, but in those days, people in the normal curve, psychology was looking at people that were not normal in some way. The schizophrenics, the psychotics, etc., the bottom of that normal curve, and what could we do to help those people to be normal? Now, they said, let's look at excellence. Let's look at people who have made it, who are excellent. The Walt Disneys, the Richard Bransons, the people who've overcome things and are excellent. Let's study what they do to make them them, and then let's teach normal people like you and I to have that. So it's quite different from how psychology was. It turned the whole thing different. So it's about studying what are the words that you say to yourself, to others, etc., that make excellence. It's an attitude with a trail of techniques, and all those techniques are modeled on people that were excellent. Okay, so Raoul,
yes.
I understand you have a fear,
Yes,
phobia
I
of
have.
public speaking.
Not exactly to speak in public. Sometimes I feel that is also exciting for me. The problem is when I'm a little afraid of not answering, to give a good answer when somebody challenges me.
Okay. Well, when we have a phobia, it's a creation. It's a creative way of dealing with our world. Because we're only born with two fears, the fear of falling and the fear of loud noises. And we're tested for that at birth. And even with those two fears, we overcome them. We go bungee jumping, we go to rock concerts. Okay, but that's our primeval brain needed those to survive when we lived in caves. Now, if you have a fear of anything, whether it's fear of flying, fear of cockroaches, fear of anything, it's been programmed into you by society, by people saying things or whatever. And all we have to do is send those messages in our neurons through different synapses. So now you behave in a different way from like before you had the fear. So you see somebody go into the movie of their mind, because we are the movies we make in our mind. You, me, we're all the movies we make in our mind. And we go into the movie theatre and we replay the movie over and over until our brain is in the way it was before we had the fear. No fear in presentations. You have confidence. You can answer questions, and when you don't know, you say, that's interesting. Good question. Thank you for asking, because I'm going to learn the answer to that. And you feel good. Open your eyes and see yourself doing that. Come on back. Yeah, come on back, see yourself doing that. Look up there. See that new movie now. Isn't that wonderful?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, I want you to try and feel the way you used to about presentations.
Much better. The other image is a little dark, a little confused. I have something more, something better in my mind now.
Yeah. So keep looking at that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? And how does that feel?
Really much better.
Wonderful. And you can even give yourself a cue for that. Give you a cue word or a cue feeling.
Mm-hmm. That's my daughter's name.
Yeah, what's her name?
Beryl.
Beryl.
Beryl Lucia.
Oh, like my name. Yeah? Beryl. So you just say, Beryl, make a fist, and see yourself doing that. You've got the confidence now to even say, that's an interesting question. I don't know, thanks for asking.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go with mine now.
Yeah, I feel much better.
You feel much better.
Definitely.
Okay, everything that we do in NLP really is reframing. So go inside your brain.
Okay.
Imagine as if floating down through your own brain. Many, many layers. It's a bit like cutting through an onion. We don't know how many layers that onion has. Maybe it's an onion with a few thick layers. Maybe it's an onion with lots and lots of thin layers. Take a deep breath and imagine as if travelling down through that brain to the sweet, sweet core. And thank your brain for the work it does. It's always looking after you. Yeah, it's been going towards the pleasure of all that food. In the 6-step reframe, what we're doing is helping people who have addictions, secondary gain, which means I gain something by having this problem, and getting to the intention. Because our brain always has a good intention for us. It won't have a bad intention. If it had a bad intention, it'd be destroying us. So we're talking to the part that has the intention, that sets up this model of behavior years and years ago, often between 5 and 7 years old, sometimes later, but often that age. And it took on this behavior to preserve itself at that time. Now, it doesn't have any other behavior whenever it needs to use that. To preserve itself, it has to fall back on the old behavior it had. So now we're searching for new behaviors that can serve that intention. Because intention is one thing, behavior is another thing. And that's what most people don't get. In fact, they even judge you on your behavior. Oh, I'll only love you if you do that. I'll only like you if you do that. I don't like you when you do that. But that is the wrong thing to look at. It's what's the intention. Look at the intention, then the intention can find new behaviors. And that's all we're doing, really. Sounds complicated. It's very, very simple. Our brain is very simple. It's extremely simple. We've complicated it.